Grandview, U.U. Released 1984, directed by Randall Kleiser Moore. Grandview, U. 157 of 259, the greatest teen movies of the 1980s. 37 of 38, the best Patrick Swayze movies. 117 of 202, the best R-rated coming-of-age movies. Adult World. Released 2013, directed by Scott Coffey. The Contract. Released 2006, directed by Bruce Beresford. Paperboy. Released 2012, directed by Lee Daniels. The Factory. Released 2012, directed by Morgan O'Neill. Max. Released 2002, directed by Menno Mages. The Jack Bull. Released 1999, directed by John Badham. Bob Roberts. Released 1992, directed by Tim Robbins. Bullets Over Broadway. Released 1994, directed by Woody Allen. More Bullets Over Broadway. 464 of 1189, every Oscar-winning film ever. 110 of 123, the best mafia films of all time. Money for Nothing. Released 1993, directed by Ramon Menendez. The Journey of Natty Gann. Released 1985, directed by Jeremy Kagan. More The Journey of Natty Gann. 58 of 97, the best Disney live-action movies. 249 of 306, the best movies for kids. 23 of 47, the best father-daughter movies. Hot Pursuit. Released 1987, directed by Stephen Lisberger. Adaptation. Released 2002, directed by Spike Jonze. More Adaptation. 235 of 369, the best movies based on books. 54 of 82, the best movies based on non-fiction books. Grace is Gone. Released 2007, directed by James C. Strauss. War, Inc. Released 2008, directed by Joshua Seftel. True Colors. Released 1991, directed by Herbert Ross. Martian Child. Released 2007, directed by Menno Mages. The Player. Released 1992, directed by Robert Altman. More The Player. 330 of 372, old movies every young person needs to watch in their lifetime. 239 of 252, the funniest 90s movies. 32 of 102, the 100 plus best movies streaming on the Criterion Channel. Fat Man and Little Boy. Released 1989, directed by Roland Joffe. City Hall. Released 1996, directed by Harold Becker. Love and Mercy. Released 2014, directed by Bill Pollak. Class. Released 1983, directed by Louis John Carly. No More. Class 240 of 314. The funniest 80s movies 673 of 1137. The absolute funniest movies of all time 28 of 43. 30 plus very preppy movies with the preppiest characters. The Frozen Ground. Released 2013, directed by Scott Walker. The Thin Red Line. Released 1998, directed by Terrence Malick Moore. The Thin Red Line. 40 of 374. The 50-plus best war movies ever made. Ranked 371 of 553. The greatest epic movies ever made. 36 of 50. The best Oscar-nominated movies of the 90s. Broadcast news. Released 1987, directed by James L. Brooksmore. Broadcast news 1077 of 1540. The most rewatchable movies 469 of 925. The all-time greatest comedy films. The Ice Harvest. Released 2005, directed by Harold Ramis Moore. The Ice Harvest. 55 of 81. The best winter movies 15 of 53. The best Billy Bob Thornton movies. Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. Released 1997, directed by Clint Eastwood. America's Sweethearts. Released 2001, directed by Joe Rothmore. America's Sweethearts. 404 of 836. The greatest chick flicks ever made. 118 of 135. The best movies about movies. 157 of 383. The greatest romantic comedies of all time. The Raven. Released 2012, directed by James McTague. 2012. Released 2009, directed by Roland Emmerich Moore. 2012, 62 of 81. The most patriotic movies of all time. 104 of 154. The best dystopian and near-future movies. Pushington. Released 1999, directed by Mike Newell Moore. Pushington. 234 of 252. The funniest 90s movies. 60 of 111. The best aviation movies. 38 of 50. The best Cate Blanchett movies of all time, ranked best to worst. Must Love Dogs. Released 2005, directed by Gary David Goldberg. Moore. Must Love Dogs. 6 of 24. The best movies about a midlife crisis in women. 10 of 68. The best movies about long-distance relationships. Hot Tub Time Machine. Released 2010, directed by Steve Pink Moore. Hot Tub Time Machine. 416 of 925. The all-time greatest comedy films. 217 of 1137. The absolute funniest movies of all time. 13 of 47. The best time travel comedies. Rank. Anastasia. Released 1997, directed by Don Bluth, Gary Goldman, Susan Beek. Jeff Beatmore Anastasia. Time to admit the cartoon Anastasia was unspeakably weird. 834 of 1189. Every Oscar-winning film ever. 187 of 275. The best movies based on true stories. The Grifters. Released 1990. Directed by Stephen Frears. Being John Malkovich. Released 1999. Directed by Spike Jonze. 1408. Released 2007. Directed by Mikhail Hafstrom. 1408. 62 of 720. The best horror movies of all time. 13 of 20 horror movies that originally had much darker endings. 20 of 49. 35 plus great movies that blur the lines between horror and drama. One Crazy Summer. Released 1986. Directed by Savage Steve Holland. One Crazy Summer. 132 of 314. The funniest 80s movies. 202 of 522. The greatest movies of the 1980s. Ranked 14 of 31 great movies set along the coast. 8 Men Out. Released 1988. Directed by John Salesmore. 8 Men Out. 31 of 172. The best sports movies ever made. 14 of 78. The all-time best baseball films. 148 of 261. The best ensemble movies. Con Air. Released 1997. Directed by Simon Westmore. Con Air. 14 turbulent behind-the-scenes stories from Con Air. 1 of 2020 bad movies that are actually really good. Identity. Released 2003. Directed by James Mangold. Identity. 28 of 242. The best psychological thrillers of all time. 254 of 541. The greatest guilty pleasure movies. Serendipity. Released 2001. Directed by Peter Chelson. Serendipity. 196 of 355. The best rainy day movies. 26 of 125. Greatest date movies of all time. 76 of 127. The best Christmas movies of all time. Runaway Jury. Runaway Jury. Stand by Me. Stand by Me. The Sure Thing. The Sure Thing. 16 Candles. Released 1984. Directed by John Hughes. Grosse Point Blank. High Fidelity. High Fidelity. Say Anything. Released 1989. Directed by Cameron Crowe. Better Off Dead. Better Off Dead.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.